Today I'm at Morning Glory Orchard. After stopping by the barn, the general store, and saying hello to their sweet dog, I went in search of the perfect apple tree to paint. I sketched, painted on canvas, and of course ended the day with the apple slushy. Back home, I'll show you my painting process, the goodies I found, and finish with a cozy sketch with me session. Good morning. To qualify as a perfect tree, it had to be close enough to my car that I could haul all my things underneath it. It had to be free of ant beds, and it had to have plenty of apples to paint. It only took 2 trips back and forth to my car to gather up all my art supplies. The one thing that I do suggest is to get an artist drop cloth or a painter's drop cloth. It really helps protect you from ants or bugs for a little while. I got out my sketchbook and began to sketch out my composition. I also wanted to get to know the tree, see the shapes of the apples, the colors, where the light is hitting, and just kind of introduce myself to the tree, as strange as that sounds. I don't spend much time in my sketchbook before I get into the canvas. I don't have much time to paint this tree. I only have 5 hours. They're only open from 9 to 2. So I knew I was kind of in a time crunch, and honestly, I really didn't know if I'd be able to finish a whole canvas. This is a 30 by 30. It's fairly large, pretty ambitious actually. So I'm at a time crunch. Here I'm working out my sketching with a charcoal. Actually, it's a Conte. It's kind of a burnt sienna color, and I'm just sketching in the colors or the composition. And here is my underpainting. I'm using bright fluorescent orange for my branches, and I'm starting with a yellow underpainting. Why do I say yellow? It's yellow, 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 yellow. Anyway, I'm working out that composition and working out an underpainting that'll make it kind of glow, and I'm giving an essence to the apples, and I love all this dapple light that is shining through. It was so much fun. This is where my new little friend shows up. And when I tell you my new friend stayed with me the whole time, oh, he stayed with me literally the whole time. From my arm to my leg to my shoe to my hands. Oh, he was there watching me. I'm glad it wasn't ants. It could have been worse. Or bees. They have bees there. I love bees, but I don't want them resting on me, to be honest with you. Now I'm kind of using different colors to paint my branches. And here he is again. Now he's on my leg. And here is my painting. This is where I've gotten so far. Still there, just hanging out, watching me paint. I forgot. All right, little friend, I've got to go. We have to say goodbye. I'm back home and I wanted to give you just an idea of how I painted the apple tree. I had planned to videotape my process while I was there, but every time my camera would give a signal saying it was overheating, so that wasn't possible. This is a canvas that I had started while I was there, or kind of the other direction. You can tell the grass and the sky, but I decided I wanted to do a different composition, and here is the orange, fluorescent orange branches, and that's how I started. And I'm loosely just putting in the apple shapes in this color. I created the darker values by using the fluorescent red color. This is my entire color palette that I used for the apple tree painting. I'm starting with the dark values of greens, and I'm not painting leaves, I'm just painting shapes of leaves and creating different values of the greens that I saw in the leaves. And later we'll go in and define where the leaves actually are. But right now I'm just doing abstract mark making in different shades and tones of greens. And this is where I start to carve in and make my leaf shapes, forming where they curve, where the light's hitting them, taking all those abstract mark making that I did with the green shades and forming my leaves. So these are the leaves that we did, starting out with the darker value, and then you can see I've come in and kind of carved in some of the leaf shapes with the sky color, but I still left it loose and abstract. And then these are kind of where that dapple light was hitting. And then I've gone in and added some shade color, like and this one is the demo that I did when I got home, just to show you, because when I was out there, I really couldn't capture some of the process. But if you look close, like there is the fluorescent orange color peeping, peeping through. And this yellow, that bright fluorescent, like greenish yellow, I left. I'm not 100% sure I'm finished with this one, but it's a good start. I did the same thing, just went in with different values and shapes of leaves, and then came back in, and where I saw a leaf kind of forming, I would add my lighter colors, and where the sunspots are hitting it. And then same with the tree, I left kind of some brighter colors popping through, like the essence of the tree almost. Like maybe it's the aura of the tree. There's some popping through here and a little in here. I think it just brings interest. I bought this, of course, for Violet, and it's about an apple that goes to New York, and he meets this group of friends that teaches him to express himself in different ways. And then he starts painting, and then he goes back and he taught everyone to see more than we're just clouds. And there's all his paintings hung together. I thought it was an appropriate book, considering. I also bought peaches and cheesecake and some truffles, but they are gone. I think I have a picture of them. If I can find it, I'll put it up. But they were delicious. But I thought maybe there was a couple of things that I wanted to sketch, but I just didn't have, I didn't have the time. So I thought we could do that together, and I'll put it on the screen for you to look at, and I'll sketch it also. This was the little house outside by the orchard. And they had these little rocks painted that were for checkers.
I usually kind of like, I'll put my pen in front of the object and kind of figure out how the angle is going. You see I've already kind of made a mistake in my lines, but it doesn't matter because we're just sketching. When I was out there painting, I really told Paul I wasn't even going to be gone that long. I was like, I'm not going to be gone that long. And then next thing you know, 4 hours have passed, and he sends me a text, are you okay? And I send him a picture back of me eating an apple in a crazy hat with all my paints laid out. And he said, well, looks like you're having fun, but you do look like a crazy person out there. But I do try to get out and sketch something or do something artistic or creative with my sketchbook at least once a week, just to, I think it's just good for your soul. Even if you're not an artist, I think it's a good thing just to get out and do something creative. And I think a sketchbook is a good way to record your thoughts, either in sketching or writing. Then that goes back there. And there's, let's see. That's the corner, then that's the side. That is way off. And there's siding. There's like a chair back here. You know, the one thing, I had that toolkit out, but I'm gonna try mine because the one that I bought doesn't have white, and I kind of did miss having white in my sketchbook. I mean, in my, you know, for an option. Look how that looks. I mean, that is the angle, but let's put a tree back here. Maybe that'll help disguise the offness of that, right? We'll just it is what it is. Maybe do that. Okay, let me get my paints. Give them a little bath. The one thing about that pen that I bought at the bookstore, the Uniball, I do love this pen, but you do have to keep in mind it is going to, it's not waterproof, but you can use that to your advantage and let that create your shadows. Let's see, this is a quilt. And we have I think I'm going to do this pot kind of a little blue color. And see if I can't make that look like a quilt. And these are little checkers, but actually some were really red. I think they were ladybugs. And then the other ones were yellow. And I think those were bees. Like that. And then we have the rockets on. lines and shadow. And let's do the trees back here. And this is copper, so we'll make it a little orangey. Like that. I'm gonna put the grass back here, so maybe my poles or columns will stand out. And we've got trees back here, and then let's gray down our windows back here. I'm going to pretend I have a roof right there. Even though we know I messed that up. It's fine. Let's see, what color do you want the chairs? Let's make them purple. Like that. Alright, there's just a quick sketch. I saw somebody on Instagram and they put their fingers like this, and you're supposed to put it on a piece of white paper like that, and then whatever color you see right there is your aura. I don't know, but it made me start thinking about like the objects and how you paint them. Like, let's say you have your apple, right? Like here's gonna be our apple, but you know how we paint like the orange and the bright colors around it? Like maybe that's the aura of your apple. Like, I don't know, does that even make sense? Like maybe your apple is red, but you see its little apple personality as more pink. Like maybe you see it as a neon color shining through. All right, and we'll put Morning Glory. Was it Morning Glory Orchards? I did get some new pens the other day, and I wanted to kind of try them out. Do a little stem on the apple. And then this one is new. No, this one isn't new. Which one? This one is new. And this one is new. I'll make this, even though it wasn't these colors, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to make it kind of look like a quilt. These were bees. Like that. And these were ladybugs. And I think I said rock, but I meant a log. So that's all I'm gonna do with that. Just a quick little sketch. And I will put this picture of this that I have on my blog. Of course, it's not going to be available by the time Violet is old enough to do this, but I'll take a picture and put in my sketchbook, and she can create one for herself. And then this is the original one that I did on location. But see how you can tell that I've done some pink and some orange, like that was maybe a little warmer where the sun was hitting, and these were reading a little bit more pink. But like the essence or the aura of the apple, you know, hold on. You know, I always have one more thing. It wouldn't be complete if I didn't say it. Well, I've closed my picture, so I'm not sure, but I think you can there. All right. Now we've got kind of a memory of the place. All right, I will see you next week.